Okay, so what time is it? It's 1:47. Gonna go ahead and start an hour timer so that I know when an hour is up. Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. Let's get this off on here. All right. So I sent a question to the Godot forums, and hopefully somebody there can answer it. I would prefer to be able to get where I left things yesterday was here. Now, I always forget to tell Discord I'm on. There we go. Discord. Go to join voice. Split it out. There we go. So, there's a stream. Gotta get YouTube going. I don't know if I like wearing these headsets. Kind of feels like I can't hear when I have them plugged in. Manage my channel directly from my phone. Okay. I might be able to do moderation from my phone. That would be nice. Whoopsie doodle. Alright, there's my YouTube stream. It's live. On the list after. And then we're going to do playlist. Alright, all set up. So, where I was yesterday was... Okay. We know how to talk to the editor a bit more. We understand that more. And the key one that I have here is the selection changed action. And that allows me to detect when we've clicked on a tile map. And the reason why that's important is because I'm going to take the data of the cells set in this tile map, and then we're going to list them here. And when we do that, we'll be able to select one, update the draw on the tile map to show a highlight of the one that we've selected in here, and allow us to see a list of properties for that particular object in the editor. So we're going to go, so it's selection changed is the one that we care about, the very first one that I tested yesterday. My question to the Godot forums was specifically about the toolbar and whether or not I could get the events happening in the toolbar, this area here. Because what I would like to be able to do is click on one of these, see those properties that I would want to change ahead of time, then be able to paint it and have those changes happen. As well as when I clicked on these, if there are any in the field here, to see a list of all of them here that I could cycle through and click. So that's what I'd like to be able to do. Whether or not I can remains to be seen. I read a lot of the documentation yesterday after the stream, and I couldn't find anything close to it except for the viewport. So I can get events happening inside the viewport here, but that's not what I want. I want to be able to click on these things here and have the editor change. So I'm going to try to hurry on some of this because I want to be able to get so we don't even need to do this. So we can archive this. This will be for later. I would like to do this as soon as possible, though. Let's see. What else was I saying? Yeah, so that's the main thing, really. But yeah, I'm confident that basically we have our event here is being called every single time for when the cell is set right here. So I guess that's the first step here, is to get cell settings to create, because we need to start creating some custom objects that we instantiate every time you add a cell in. And so I guess we should just get that going right now. So let's see. So we're actually going to be programming today, like real programming, not probing different like settings and scenarios and trying to figure out what would work. So we have a stage editor here. We've got obstacles here. This is where I was going to set some new scripts. We'll use the finite state machine. Yes. So that's a prefab. Was a little bit extra code for a state machine. And I guess the first, what should be the first obstacle type? Let's check our. I've got a GitHub. We've got a GitHub here, and we've got some game ideas that I wrote down. Only a few. I have a bunch floating around my head. I really should write them down. Wiki. Nice ideas. Huh, none. I didn't commit them. Way to go, Schultz. Did Darren write anything down? I can steal some hints now. Bummer. Okay. Well, okay, we'll call it direction or conveyor. Whoa. What weird email did I just get? I guess I should close it. I have it open because I want to see if I get answer on my Godot forum question. But if I'm going to get weird emails like that, never mind. How do you spell conveyor? Conveyor. That is not right. I am the worst speller. Conveyor. There we go. Let's go back. So we'll call this obstacle type conveyor. Okay. Create. Open it up. Here we are. Extends node. Now let's double check the node documentation. Just to be sure that's what I want to extend. You gotta be kidding me. Come on. You know, I think I might be able to do it just with object. Is there anything I'm going to want it to be able to do? Well, we get access to ready and all that stuff, so we'll keep it. We'll keep it for now. Sounds good. Okay, so the first thing this thing is going to do is it's going to push or slow down the player based on their traveling direction. So, what is a good way to do this? We'll just say speed equals 20. That'll be our base value for our enumerations. Well, that'll be good too. It'd be fun to have the animations continue to play even though it's paused. Let's go scripting and GDScript. I just want to make sure I'm doing the enumerator right. Named enumerator. We're not going to do that. Speed. Yeah, so speed equals 2 equals 20. Var speed equals speed for now. Now I suppose we could do this any number of ways. We have the area shape entered here. This gets us our cell position. So maybe we should do some strict things here where we... Well, okay, that's... we need to send a signal, right? So func... so there's a signal... What should we call our signal? How about do we need a signal? If the player's on the pad, how should we send the messages? We could push them up. We could send them up to obstacles. I mean, the basic thing that we need to do is tell the player speed to change. And we can emit from anywhere, right? So I could emit a signal from here to... No, I've got to emit the existing signal. So I don't know that this is the right way to do this. What we could do is have... Okay, so we're going to have the the shape entered here. And that's our player. Okay. So I can go up a level and get the player itself. And I can talk to it directly that way. So what I need to be able to do then is here, get cell v position. So get cell v, we're going to say var ID and then let's think about this. I'm going to do some sort of lookup for now. And we're going to say okay, so there's our cell ID. We've got our position. We need to... Is an array the way to go with this, or is an... would be a key. So let's say for now 0... So we are going to go dictionary, which is key values. Colon is the... Okay, so... I mean, do we reference... Should I reference the resource for the load? So let's go to... We'll go object. So I'm just building this on the fly. Trying to remember instantiation, and this is new. Yeah, new. Okay, so we're going to link to the script name. Yeah, so it's starting to look like this. So if the ID is 0, then there's our script. If it's not an invalid cell, we don't need to do this anymore to prove that this is working. I've tested it. We need to instantiate and set it in the cell. So the first thing we need to do is attempt to look it up, see if it exists already by the position. So what we're going to do is go cell settings, and we're just going to look for our current position. Let's be more explicit. What do they call it in the tile map? Cell position. Okay. Good, 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 good. Okay, so we're going to check to see if this exists. So returns the current value for the specified key in the dictionary. If the key does not exist, the method returns the value of the optional default argument or null. Returns the current value for the specified key in the dictionary. If the key does not exist, returns true if the dictionary has a given key. So we could do this with get, because if we go cell settings, we can be, I'm about to do something crazy. Cell settings get cell position. Okay. And here, this is weird. This is weird what I'm about to do, because we're going to go, we're going to get this, but if we don't have it, then we'll return an instantiation of the no, I guess we should use has. I don't want to be fancy just for the sake of it. So if we have a cell in this position, then I do something. Do something else. And in this case, I don't have to do anything. Let's focus on else. So settings, and then we're going to do cell position equals okay, so our new object equals. Can I just pass it off like this? I wonder, is this possible? Is this gonna? Guess we'll find out. What we'll do is we'll look up cell ID. This gives us our objects. Oops. A lot of programming, nothing happening. Cell ID lookup, cell ID. This gets us our current script. And then we're going to say, how do I get this from a script? Preload. To check if the given instance inherits from a given class, the is keyword can be used. I like that. So if we do const and then we call it conveyor and we say preload, this is a good way to do it. Res resource, and this is not relative, so this would be scripts stage editor obstacles. I can spell conveyor.gd. Okay. Good. Oh, I forgot to say I was streaming on Discord. I did all that work and then I forgot to say I was streaming. Way to go. Way to go. So we should do an enum, and we'll call these tile types, and then the first one will be conveyor. Okay. So the numerator is 0 starting with conveyor, so that's this guy right here, right? Okay, so good. Now we sell ID, new object. So if it has that cell position, then we continue on. Otherwise, we... Hey, Darren. How's it going? So you didn't catch any of the stream yesterday, right? I can show you something really quick. Nope. Okay. Let me show you something. I've got to mark all this out. So I'm going to comment this out. And we'll do set cell v so yeah, that YouTube video I sent where I said this might be it. It was. I had to do a lot of change to the code, that the sample code that the guy had. But once I did that, I could prove that it's working, and I was testing it a whole bunch yesterday, or this morning actually. And we're going to invalidate the cell. So, okay. So here's the proof that this works. So this is the area shape entered. This fires whenever the two areas shapes overlap. And then basically what we do is we convert those in the global space, the global world space. We convert the shapes overlap positions to the cell position of the tile that is being overlapped. And just to prove it works, then we set it to 0, or we not 0, but we flush it out. So if let me just show you the tile map so you get an idea of the ways that I was kind of proving this. Graphics. Let me go over to the tile map. Okay, so on this one, I set the collision box to be inside the square, so smaller than the drawn area. This one is larger than the drawn area, and so when we collide, not collide, but when the areas overlap on the collision bounds of the player and on these guys, then will show up. It'll go away. So when the player's like right here, it's going to disappear on this one. When the player's right here and comes to the next area down, then the blue one will disappear. So let me show you that in action. Unless I got something wrong with my code or something I've been doing broke something. Yeah, and then the answer is yes. Okay, hang on. Yeah. So there they go. So that's with that data, with that knowledge and that data, I'm working on some code. Yeah. So I'm working on the code to create the different obstacle types and instantiate them. So create an instance of that object, that obstacle type, and then we can start to mess around with like slowing the player down when they go on one. So the first one I'm working on is the conveyor. The other the other thing that I did yesterday, man, I've got old man voice. The other thing that I did yesterday was I worked with a editor information to try and see how we could get it so that, you know, if you set maybe like a teleport and you want to pick where it teleports to or something like that, how do you change those values? And we would need to use something in the GUI. Otherwise, we'd have to put it in code for every single level. And so in order to make that happen, I did some work on the editor stuff. And if we look at the output down here, you can see when I click, we've got selection changed. So now I can get the tile map itself. So anytime we clone the default level editor, anytime we click on a tile map and it's named obstacles, that's what I'm going to have the condition be. Then we'll set this tab to be show a list of all these set tiles, and then you can click on them, and I'll use the draw command in the tile map itself to show a highlight of it, because this is the only way I can think to do it for now. And then you know which one you're editing, and then you'll have property values here that you can change. Some of them aren't necessarily going to have any, but yeah, so I actually made quite a bit of progress yesterday, which I'm pretty happy with. Yeah, it is. It really feels like we actually might be able to start making levels. So yeah, so I'm trying to get the other thing that I was wanting to do was make it where when you click on and select one of the obstacles, that you have a script drop down that's associated with the ID. These each would have an ID 0, 1, 2, 3. And then that would be the script that would be used to instantiate the object. For now, I'm doing it hard-coded here, but eventually it's going to be a drop-down. You browse and you pick the script. They're all sitting inside of stages, inside scripts, stage editor, obstacles. For now is where I'm going to be putting them. And that's my story. And once we have that stuff really figured out, then we can take our tile map and give them good names here so that you'll know exactly the kind in case we forget what we're calling them. That way we have the same vocabulary to talk about them with. So yeah, so right now all I'm doing is I'm preloading this script here. So and I'm calling it with a constant, calling it conveyor. And what we're going to do is if the cell ID, so we're getting a valid ID. We're checking if it's a valid ID. If it is, we check the position in cell settings, which is a tile dictionary. If the position doesn't exist in the dictionary, then we're creating an instance of the object. If it does exist, we're going to get the object, basically. That's the plan, Stan. And so this is going to break out into a function. I know that, but for now, I'm just writing the code out as I want it, and then I'll break it out so that it's there. Yeah. So new object, and we go by thanks. Yeah, it's definitely coming along. So we're going to match cell ID. And I think we can do this if it's conveyor. Then we go, and before all this, we're going to go var object. Is that used? Is that taken? No. Can we declare a variant? I guess we can. So it could be anything. You know what? We can be specific about it right now. It's going to be node. And object equals conveyor new. So let's see if this happens. Then after we have that, we set object to if we're going to say null. If object. Okay, and then after that, we'll just print cell settings out. And hopefully this just works. Let's see. Oops, I've got to roll pass. Expected end of statement after. I can't set the. But yeah, I had a good feeling when I found that guy's video. The key thing that was missing from it all was part of it was I wasn't using the global space coordinates. So once I was able to figure out what that was about, I still don't understand the transforms very well. I know I'm weak in that, and I'm going to continue to read on it. But in my testing, I was doing all kinds of weird stuff with the collision elements to try to trick it, to make sure it wasn't some sort of guess. And it works every time, so. That's right. You go like this. I forgot when you're setting a. So that's how you set the key. So I just had some bad syntax. All right, let's try again. All right, so there's our node. Sweet. And it says it's at 7.2, and that is 7.2. Okay, good. And so now I don't know if I like this. I'm realizing that the values of the tile map are always going to be there. What I mean to say is, I imagine eventually we're going to have it where we like in code programmatically have events where an obstacle disappears, and that's on the set tile step here. But this code should really run at ready because we already have the level edited and designed. And so what I need to do is get an array, get used cells. So get used cells. Var used cells for cell in used cells. We do this stuff. So we don't even need that. So I'm gonna put pass on here. And we can trust that this is going to exist. Okay, so let me just split this out into its own function. Make object. We'll call it update cell objects object, and we'll do. We're gonna need the cell ID, cell position. And then let's move this code here. Cell position if cell settings has, and cell settings. Oh, that's our, okay. Okay. If it has, then we do nothing for now because I haven't written the code to do finish me. Okay. And cell ID, match cell ID. Boom. If object, so this should still work. No, I just want to make sure get used cells, what the array structure looks like. Returns a vector2 array with the positions of all the cells containing a tile from the tile sets, i.e. a tile index different than -1. So it's an array, so I need to get for each is going to give me a single so let me just let me print this out. I just need to see its format. Print. And we're going to comment this out. Okay, so let's just run the code, see what it looks like. Variable use cells already defined in the scope. Oh, I did it twice. So that's, maybe there's a different one because that one, that's a list of cells. Get use cells by ID. Returns an array of cells with a given tile index specified in ID. Let's just see what we get with that. Too few arguments. Get use cell by ID. Returns an array of cells within a given tile. Oh, okay. Okay. I guess I have to look it up that way then. So I would only have the cell position. Okay. And then if I have that, then I can get cell V. Are these a vec2 or are they just... Yeah, I know. You're mad about that. Match. Hello. They are not. They look like it. Get use cells. Update cell. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of table setting right now. I'm getting it set up for instantiating all of the objects as we've set them in the game as we do this. So each of these are going to have their own related code object type. So each of these will be unique, and then they'll have properties, like I said, in the editor that we'll be able to change so that we're not doing it in code. It'll be in the stage itself. And so that'll make it so, I mean, we can edit levels without touching code. Like, obviously, there might be, I don't know. I'm just taking what I've learned from videos that I've watched of developers doing this stuff, and I'm going, well, these are the things I think we're going to need. Okay, so for cell, oops, past that. No need to say cell position. Okay. So if it doesn't have one, then we return nothing. So we would return, let's change this so that we will return, if it doesn't, then we do this. Otherwise, we return the object. And then here is where we would return and we wanted to bomb that if statement out because we wanted to bomb if it's trying to return one that doesn't exist. It'll be null. And we'll return object. Okay. So far, I'm getting there. And we need to match on. So if it doesn't have that, then we need to look it up. So let's go to the tile map. And then we'll do cell. So var cell ID equals get cell v. So this will be the ID of our cell. And that's what we'll use to create the object type. Tile types. Let's be more explicit. Tile object types. Okay. Okay, let's just make sure this works. So we'll print it out. Again, should have the same thing we got last time. Yes. Wait a minute. Now hold on now. Oh, okay, because there's the two. Okay. So this is those are the two nodes for this one here and then this one here. Okay. Is in the object editor. I think I'm gonna have to save a local file because. So for instance, say we plant this guy here, and then we edit some properties for him, and we say the speed of the conveyor belt is X amount, right? When I instantiate that object for that particular tile, I need to know what values to pass to it based off of what we set in the properties here. And so I have to put that somewhere. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to just make a location. Ooh. I don't know. I mean, it would make sense that it would be in the scenes. So like we have our what we're calling stages here in this folder. You duplicate this one, you give it a new name, and then when you start like changing properties and things like that, that it would save that file in here with them. And so maybe the folder it should go in references itself. So if we for instance, if we built a folder structure here for like the areas, like worlds or whatever we want to call it, like biomes, you know, we make a folder with those in there, edit the stage, and as we're doing that and we start to change the properties, it would automatically create a file if it doesn't exist already that has those property values that then would be referenced here when the level is ready, when it's loaded. It would create all those objects with the instance of it. We would apply the properties that we would want it to have at start. Okay. There's a lot I need to do. Oh man. Okay. Well, I mean, this gets us our object. So now, now with that, we go create and I don't know that cell settings is the right name for them. Cell objects, I think, is better. So we'll call them cell objects. Let's do a mass rename here. So find, replace cell objects. And I'm not doing anything. Okay, so replace all. Okay. Okay, so the code's looking pretty decent. The fan's on. It's a little chilly. What's the weather like there in Paso? Or not passo, but in slow. You're in slow, right? I shouldn't say where you are. Never mind. Ugh. Where are you right now? I forget where you live. Use a code. Use a body of water or landmark. Okay, so now we're going to so we have cell ID. So update cell objects, not quite the right name. Because it's returning it as well. But so we get the object. Now what? I guess what we need to say is we need to have a common language. So we're probably going to have a parent for it. So we could have a function and call it player. Player is over. Player is on. I don't like that name. But we're rolling with it for now. So if every object has the same so if we have the area get parent and we pass player, then we can move player wherever we want. It's not hard coded. So if we decide player is on. Okay, so let's make sure that this hits. So this will be our first test to see if we're connected. And that we're going to non-existent function player is on base bool. Okay, let's hang on a second. Let's say we're going to print this object out. Print true. Oh, we need to return the cell object. So we need to return the cell. Either way, we're returning it. Okay, let's try again. All right. So now we can tell the cell. Now we can tell the object of that particular tile obstacle that we're on it. 1 hour into coding. I'm happy with this. I know I could just sit down and blast through this, but I have obligations as an adult. And it sucks. What time is it? 2:47. So I'll give myself 15 more minutes. All right. So player is on. Yeah, I think there's going to be a bit more to this. For instance, let's say we want to have an obstacle that is a pressure pad that the player, when they pass over it, it flips the value of a different object. So how do we register those signals to each other? And that is where we need, not only do we need them to exist in the first place, this is why levels get load screens. We need them to exist in the first place. And then we we register those signals to each other. All right, so we have our player. Now, we've got speed. Non-existent. Okay. And we want it to bomb. I'm going to know when that happens. Player speed. So the player knows its direction. Can we do this with states? So can I have like, I might have to research some programming patterns here, because there's definitely a lot to think about. When player is on, we have the player. Now, I could get the player direction. Do the math here. This would happen every step. No, it wouldn't. That's something else to consider. This is only going to fire once. So we have to carry it over to the player because area shape entered is not area shape is, right? So let's look up area 2D. Oh, hello? Hello? It's showing I'm streaming audio. Yeah, I've been so I guess what I could do is unmute my stream. So stream. Yeah, no, it's fine. Oh yeah, I've been talking to you for a while. I was wondering what the weather is like there right now. So what I've gotten so far is we're creating the objects. That's working based on the set cells. Then we're loading them when the player is over the area. I'm double checking area 2D. That's good. Yeah, where I'm at, if the sun's out and it's high 40s and there's no breeze, it's t-shirt weather. If you can believe that. Oh, nice. Nice. I realized we're also going to need a rounded conveyor belt tile as well. Cool. Yeah, so I was saying the thing that I have to think about in code, I've only got a few minutes left. 8 minutes. But oh, well, it's a vector though, right? So it should be possible to I did everything in 64 and I need to update it on my side. So if we need to do that now, we can. I did 128. Okay. Yeah, so everything's based off 64 here for what I was testing, but we can change that right now. White Jesus, how's it going? I've made quite the progress, my friend. Quite the progress. Just updating some things on the tile maps because we're going to 128 for our native resolution. So, but everything's gonna break right now. Of course. But I'm gonna go through and make these changes for Darren because he's got some updated graphics and we agreed on 128. And so that's what we're gonna do. Region. Here we go. So our 128 pixels. And then in code, I'm going to resize it based off the resolution. So we'll have different sized things as well. So I need to blow up these graphics then. But yeah, in White Jesus, I have set the there we go. And obstacles. Just can push the conveyor tile set test. Okay. Is this... I added it to the obstacle tile set. Oh, okay. Let me pull it then. This is where we're going to crash into each other because I think I just made a bunch of changes. Maybe not. Well, that's the thing. It's the graphical fidelity. It's not going to be, because we can zoom the camera out. So the size of that isn't necessarily an issue. And I don't see the changes, Darren. Let me pull again. And maybe I pissed it off because I had it open. But I've been able to do that before. Don't save. Open it up again. There it is. Whoa! All right, sweet. So he did 128. So it's a bit bigger than our diddly guy. Yeah, no, it'll be by twos, but then we can adjust the rest of it by the camera zoom, so to speak. So let me go. Okay, so he's got that set up. I need to. Okay, I've just got to change some things here real quick. But yeah, White Jesus, what's going on is I've got the code set for our I'm fabricating the code for these different objects that I've been talking about, and how we're going to have one that we can put. Although it's really strange that 4 got put up at the top. That's very odd. Yeah, I see the gap. Okay. Yeah, I'll pull it in again. And I need to make some changes to it before you do anything else, I think. No, I don't. I need to change the... haven't pushed. Okay. Anyways, what I was saying, White Jesus, is we're now instantiating test objects for our different tile obstacle behaviors. And so at the start of the tile map, when it loads, it creates the objects. And then when we are over the shape and we are over a existing cell that has a tile ID, we're loading that object for that cell position. And then we're notifying the object that the player is on there. And then we can start to send out information that way. There's a lot I need to consider, though, with regards to this, in the sense of yeah, White Jesus, I know what you're talking about, pixel warping, but we're not going to use MIP maps for the pixels. It'll be a true like 1-to-1 on it. Like we're not going to it'll be unfiltered pixels, I guess. So it shouldn't be a problem, as long as I get the math right when I resize them. So anyways, it's working, and I'm about to break everything, so I won't be able to show you just yet. I see he's got new ground tiles. Let me scale the maze, Darren, and then I'll push that up to you. Let me open that up. Ground default maze, and we're gonna go sprite size, doubling it, right? So 256 by 256, and we'll export. Okay. Now I got to go back to Godot. Where's Godot? There you are. Oh, that's fine. We knew that was going to happen. And let's go to maze, and we're going to adjust our cell size. 64 by 64, and let's update the tile map. So we're just committing with the 128 size here. Tile set maze. Oh, I gotta do all this all over again. Oh no. This is the auto tile. So we gotta go like this. Hush up. I'm gonna give myself another 15 minutes because I want to show White Jesus what's going on. White stepping is gonna be 32. Okay. Our collisions are all busted. The whole thing's a collision, but our subtile size needs to be larger. So then we dump the collision, put a new one in. We gotta dump all of these. This is a pain in the butt. And our bit mask should be correct. Yeah, for some reason that always, it scales itself back up fine. But everything else is like, no, I'm not going to do that. So we'll hard code these collision layers here. We're going to set our icon to be this guy. Now put the rest of the collisions in. No. Why is it? Step 64. Subtile size should be lower than that. 32. Is that right? No, it's the other way around. 64. 64. Now our bit mask is still right. Okay. Let's get these collisions in real quick. Oh, but then I gotta change the player size and everything. Ugh. So I stuck with it though, guys. I didn't give up on this plan, and I'm feeling really good about it. That we're gonna have a really good way to create the levels, and I need to this part where I'm actually gonna start creating the code for everything. We really got to be careful about the code. I guess that's true always, right? But what I mean to say is, so I'm gonna get rid of these obstacles. Now we have our 64-bit. What is going on with the stepping now? Oh, I haven't updated it yet, right? So 64 by 64. Now we're on our right stepping. Good. So next is the ground, and that's already been set up to be 64 by 64. And I don't know why it's mad about the ground. The last time I tried to make a game with tiles, I messed up and randomly changed the ID of, oh my gosh, color for... No! That's an SHIT moment. That's where you just quit forever. It's just like, you know what? I don't need to do this anymore. All right, so default player sprite, we're going to change the sprite size to 128. So this is our native res. We're going to build our graphics set off of 128 and then rasterize down on the scaling of of the available resolution, and then possibly in the game, like the player can change for performance reasons. So yeah, that's the plan. Player, default player, normal maps, objects, tile sets. Where is our scene for the player? Here. Oh yeah, test player. Okay. So our collision area and collision shape are going to be the same. And we're going to be 31. And this one's going to be 31 as well. Oh, they're tied together. Okay. So there's our player. Let's move him over and down. So we're going to be 2. And what is our size? Is 64. So 2 times 64 is 128 plus 32. 160. So 160 by 160 should get us right where we need to be. Let's double check our... Do you guys remember how to lock elements in the... Like... Can I lock the transform to just not allow it to be changed? So that I don't accidentally drag things around and get everything off? Because I don't... There we go. Okay, so we've got our movement back, and we've got our new tile size. Yes, I did. My joy was gone this day. Yes, on top there's a lock. I see. So I can't lock... Is that just for... Like, if I lock it, I can still put things down, right? Yeah. So that's strictly for the... Good. Okay. Because we don't... we don't want to drag these bad boys around. So we're going to lock them. Now we're going to save this, and I'm going to throw this up to Darren. I got to commit some things here. Colorful. I don't know how long you've been watching, but I made a lot of progress. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I would have... I mean, I'm not going to... I would have put it somewhere else. Let's just put it at that. Like, I would want to be able to lock any of these properties. You know? Just to be like, as a reminder to whoever's doing any changes that, hey, this is locked, remember why, kind of thing. Okay. Well, I'll just let you know. So we made great progress. We've got the... I'm doing my first instantiation of an object. When you play the stage, and we're sending signals to, or we're sending method calls to it, and we're starting to be able to talk to all those things. And I made some progress on the editor stuff too. I've got an open question out in the Godot docs about some stuff, and so I'm hoping to hear about that as well. So welcome back. Welcome back. No, I've got what I need though. I have enough where changes for 128 editing. I've got enough. Okay, I'm going to push those out to you, Darren. Okay, they're pushed. Oh, and what's going on the project level? Oh, that's for verbose output. The key that I have color for is that I can click, when I click here, you see I can get the selection. And so now if you click on obstacles, I can check, okay, it's a tile map. Does it have the name obstacles? If so, yes, then we start to populate this based off the cell contents of the tile map. And then you can click, what I'm going to have is you'll be able to click on those, the list of the painted cells, and then it'll highlight them here using the overriding the draw command. So they'll show up like some sort of highlight. And then you'll see the properties that you can edit in here. So it's all possible. I know it's possible. So I'm skipping that for now so that I can get some of the code figured out for instantiating the actual object like sets for this stuff. This is gonna bomb if I try to do this because if I touch it, oh, it doesn't have a collision layer. Okay, so let's go to the tile map. Oh, he did his own. Yeah, my code revolved completely around. Okay, so I'll have to change some things because this is just a single tile. Oops. And that's why it showed up here. Okay, well, let's give it a collision area. And Darren, we're going to need to pad the tile set so that we have a collidable area. Okay, cool. Well, it would be nice if they were all in one space, if you get my drift. So long as they're all in, I don't know if it's possible to even do that though, so you got to let me know. Can you do multiple animated tiles on a single PNG, or is because I don't even know. Let me check your, I don't know where you stored the graphic for this. Had to create. Okay. Do you have a screenshot of what that would have looked like? Because I don't quite understand. It's under floors conveyor belt. Ew. Man, that's tripping my eyes out. Okay. Animated texture. All right. Well, if we're doing it separately, that's still fine. I've just got to add some things to the code. And if that's what we have to do for animated tiles, then so be it. Let's go back to our tile set. Yeah, there'd be no way because it'd have to be the exact same number of frames. You have a good night, Colorful. If you're Colorful, if you're still here, I'll see you later. Okay, well let me just run the code because I'm pretty sure we're gonna bomb. Yeah. Okay. Non-existent invalid call, non-existent function players. And let's get, I mean, I think it's 4. So if I change this to 4, then it should work. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. So tomorrow we have lots to do. Lots to do. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so let me show you I've got a breakpoint on our conveyor object, or I'll put a breakpoint on it. And now when we pass over it, the player object, the conveyor object, sorry, the conveyor object obstacle function says the player is on. And then we pass the player object to it in case we want to do something to it. So yeah, no, that wouldn't work. That's fine. They all have their own IDs. So for instance, if I were to add a new one in here, then it would count up from that to something else. So if I did this, saved it, and then went back to our level editor, it would be 5. The main thing that we need to do is I want to keep the actual, like, since we're going to do it that way and we're going to delete these, we need to get the count back down to 0 on these. So I think I actually have to do that in code only once, then commit the changes. Or we could do it on the file level, I believe. Yeah, it can be. So with these commands here, you can go like this, and you can rotate it. And so this is the other thing that we have to, and then see these two can go against each other. This is the other thing that I need to account for in code is the orientation of the tile, and using that to apply the sort of, like in this case in a conveyor, you'd expect that the pressure on the player to move would be down in a downward kind of look way, right? And so we have to take into account the rotation of the tile as well. Yeah, so that's in editor. And this is, again, one of the reasons why I wanted us to do it this way and not have us set every single level up in code. And in particular, you know, if we decide we want this conveyor to go to different speeds, the frame, like in this case, we would actually need to go, and you're using that TRES file. And so we would need to say for this particular tile to step up its frames to indicate that it's moving even faster. So things like that are why I want us to be able to is the player free to be stuck between two tiles? I'm not sure what you mean. I haven't messed with the physics stuff yet. We just got it all hooked in where we can like start talking to the different things. So this is that key thing right here. And this is where I need to start thinking about code structure and how I'm going to be sending information from the obstacles to the player, and from the obstacles to other obstacles, from the obstacles to enemies, all kinds of things like that. So I have to figure out how I'm going to set up the structure for that. There's a lot to think about, and I think ultimately this will create, depending on how thick memory gets, there will be a slight load screen for every level. Yeah, so I'm going to commit my code. Ooh, but I wanted to do something, guys. I wanted to download the Push It sample from Salt and Peppa, and then have it trigger anytime I commit or push code. But I haven't had time to do that. Building structure for loading obstacle objects. And I always spell obstacle wrong. Oh my gosh, my spelling. Obstacle-less. Obstacle objects. And conveyor is the first conveyor. There we go. I spelled it right. At least I know I'm spelling it wrong. I suppose that's fixed frame rate to even 30. And we're going to discard that change. All right, let me push those out. Well, guys, I gotta take off. Yeah, I got a lot done today, though. I think a lot of it was missed, but that's fine. So, Darren, the one thing that we do need to do, though, just as a heads up, is the available space on the outside of this needs to be the size of the stamp area, or the area that we could set for bounds for collisions needs to be twice the size of this tile itself. So if we're doing 128, we need a 128 in the middle with bound like padding of 64 on the tops and sides, if that makes sense. And the reason for that is that the collision, the area of our player is on the inside. Is it 64 or would it only be 32? It might only be 32. Yeah, it would only be 128 split in half, 64. So it would be 64 on each side. No, I'm sorry. It would be an additional. Okay, if we're 128, then yeah, we only need 64 on the side so that we can get to, like right here, on the bounds. So you would add an additional 64 to the sides. No. 32. 32 padding. That's how they were. Yeah, I didn't resize them because you've got this new conveyor and it's the right size. But yeah, the scenarios that I'm imagining are that sometimes we're going to have the area be on the outside, so that this way, if we do it this way, then as soon as the player's in this position right here, like right in this scenario, I can't point at the screen with the mouse because if I do that, then it shows the. Okay, so if we have the border, the collision area on the outside like this, then as soon as this area overlaps with it, as if the player is now entering the conveyor area, then we get the detection. There may be times on certain obstacles, for instance, where we want to have the collision happen where the player is more overlapping the obstacle. And so we need that variability as a possible space for editing. But I figure if we just have a standard of a certain amount of padding, we might even want more because we might want there to be some sort of like area of effect for a specific object. But the problem is because of how we have to do the draw of the area 2D, we need whatever that needs to be. It needs to be the space needs to be available in the tile graphic as well. Unfortunately, it's just in one of the idiosyncrasies of Godot. You can't go outside those bounds unless there's another way. And before I finish the stream, I'm just going to, gosh, I want to keep going. Check my mail. And see if I got a reply on the Godot forums at all yet. Because I won't let nothing. Okay. So yeah, but we're getting there, guys. How long have I been streaming for? Almost 2 hours. But now we have everything that I needed that I was talking about. The only thing that we don't have, but I know I can get it going, is the populated values inside here. But now we can start to really formalize the process there and get like yeah. I'll so if it's 32 on each sides from center and you're a 128 pixel sprite, then it would be 64 plus 128. So 128 plus 64 would get you 192, and that would give you enough bounds so that we could get the collision area to be on the outside of it. And then we'd have to reset this. But yeah. Holy shoots. We're getting there. This is really exciting because once I get a process for this going, and I'm very close to it, I think we'll have it in by this week, then we can really get creative and finally start creating those objects like I keep saying we're going to, and then I run into these problems. So we're really going to get to that point where we can start making the obstacles. And like I said, the other one that I really would like to make is like a teleport thing where it pops the player from one location to another, and then we can have split mazes, and the Pac-Man concept of having where you go off the screen on one end and then you reappear on the other, but you could do that with teleports sort of, so it would be like non-asymmetrical mazes, but also on top of that, if you're going one direction, you'd reappear completely somewhere else going the other direction kind of thing. Some fun stuff like that. But anyways, guys, I should stop. I've got to do some stuff around the house and out in the yard and all that kind of thing because it's spring, and spring is going to destroy my yard if I don't take control. Yeah. You guys have a good night and everything. Sorry I streamed a little earlier than normal. But I'm extremely happy about this, and I know there's not much to show, but this is the key. Is I've repeated myself a few times, but we're creating a unique object for the type of obstacle, and we're getting it to where we can recall it when the player enters that area. We can now tell the object, that obstacle object, that hey, player is there. And now we just need to start coding in the signals to go, okay, well, we want to modify the player's speed or whatever, and we want to talk to another object on the board, stuff like that. So yeah, and actually if I think about it, we can register signals here. Yeah, this is going to go great. Man, I'm excited. Okay. Well, I like to leave with like a list of things that I can do next stream. So that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to say what is our next thing? We're going to work on sending, we'll call them messages to player and other objects. Obstacle. All right, you guys, have a good night. Bye. Peace out. Oh wait, is White Jesus? Are you streaming? Is there anybody I should? I don't have time to raid anybody. Oh, that is something I wanted to set up. Is the auto auto hosting, because I got that Twitch TV. Let me see if I can just get it set up real quick.
And
no. Creator. Is it in the creator dashboard? Streaming tools? Nope. Where? I found some auto hosting stuff. Ooh, gotta be careful. Don't want to. Channel. Nope. So I can't change my name for another 5 days or 6 days. Stream manager? Nope. Is it? Where is it? I found auto hosting. No, that's us. Video producer. No, that's us. Okay, so we got a little feedback. Where is it? Twitch auto hosting. How to use auto host. Okay, so how do I... Hosting on mobile. Auto hosting feature. To enable auto hosting. Thanks. How do I get there? You gotta be kidding me. Come on, Twitch. No. Stream. Permissions. Raids. Content. Community. Insights. Stream manager. Clip that. Host the channel. No. Where is it? I came across it. I came across it the other day. I can't find it. Account settings. Is this it? Somewhere in here? Connections? Recommendations, notifications. Channels and videos. Feature content. Auto hosting. Here we go. Auto host channels. Host team channels. What is that about? Auto host list. Here we go. White Jesus. Add. Is it Cobalt? Cobalt Games. Uh-oh, there's a couple. I think this is it. Let me double check though. All right. Okay, I've set you guys up for auto hosting, so whenever you guys are streaming, it'll host both of you. And if anybody else starts watching, or I'll double check on Discord, see if anyone else streams as well. So So yeah, I just thought I'll host those, and hopefully that'll gain more exposure for other people as well, and that'll just help our little community grow. Um, yeah. So have a good one, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.